Let us discuss what is the best way to spend money for indefinite life extension. Uh, in our community, such discussions are very frequent. How one can the best spend like $1,000,000, $10,000, and so on. And actually, this question has some real value because there are some people who are willing to donate us like $10,000 a year. It happens. Some people come to us and say that, hey, we want to donate you that much money, please take it. Actually, they come not to me uh, in precisely, but to some other people from our movement. But anyway, for example, for $10,000, what can be done? For $10,000, we can run a successful campaign in Köln. To get elected in Köln, and the elections would be in September 2025, you need about 5,000 votes, which is approximately 1.1% of all votes. That's because there is no electoral threshold in Köln, and there are 90 members in parliament, so to get one member, you need 1.1% of the votes. And practice of European elections tells us that you need basically about 1 to 2 or like a few euros to get one vote. No, you need to spend that much euros for your election campaign. So to get 5,000 votes in Köln, we need to spend about like 10,000 euros for election campaign. And basically, I also think that probably even without us spending 5,000 euros, there might be enough people in Köln, because like Köln is 1 million people city, who would support our ideas, especially if we would not frame them very radically. If we would say that just we want to help science to defeat aging, cancer, Alzheimer as fast as possible. And especially if we would have some support from CECAD, Köln Institute on Aging, or MPIH and other Köln Institute on Aging. But anyway, 10,000 euros is a reasonable budget for election campaign in Köln, and it's reasonable to expect that as a result we would have one passionate indefinite life extension supporter in Köln City Council, and that person would try to communicate in that council for the next 4 or 5 years the necessity and importance of increasing the funding of Köln institutes working on aging, to introduce education campaigns connected to better life quality in old age, and educational campaigns on improving understanding of people about the possibilities to cure aging at all, cure cancer, cure dementia, and so on. So to inform people about basically about our ideas, but of course not in a direct political context, but a little bit indirect, which is of course possible, because we are not just like a common political party, but we are like for better health, for defeating diseases, and so on. So another option which costs much more than elections in Köln, is elections in Berlin. Of course, Berlin is the capital of the strongest country in European Union. And of course, we want to go there and be elected there. When we speak about Berlin, we speak about one of 16 lands of Germany. So Germany has 16 lands. It's like states in USA, for example. But 3 of those lands are essentially cities: Berlin, Hamburg, and Bremen. In Berlin, there is, unfortunately, a threshold. We need to get 5% of votes to get into Berlin Land Parliament. And Berlin is 4 times as large in terms of population compared to Köln. So that leads to the conclusion that for Köln, for Köln we need 5,000 votes, but for Berlin we need 20 times more votes. 4 times more because of 4 times more population, and 5 times more additionally because of electoral threshold. So to get 100,000 votes, we need like maybe about 200,000 euros. And that's of course very large sum of money, but as an advantage we get a fraction, not just one person like with Köln City Council. Like of course we could have more than one person in Köln City Council if we get not just 1.1% of votes, but like if we get 3.3% of votes, we can hope for 3 people in Köln City Council. But we have no such option in Berlin to have just 1 person or 2 people in the land parliament. We need to get 5% of votes, and in that case we would get about 5% of parliament members in Berlin Land Parliament. So if it has like 200 people, we would have there 10 people at once. So that's very ambitious goal. And another good thing about Berlin is that even if we get just 1% of votes, it would be of great help for us, because 1% on land elections is another threshold where the state funding of political parties begins. So if we collect just like about 20,000 votes in Berlin, for which we need about maybe 40,000 euros, state will give us 1 euro for each vote. So 20,000 euros the next year, and the year after the next year, and so on, for 4 or 5 years, depending on the duration between the consecutive elections. But there is also a point that state gives not more money than we raise ourselves. So it effectively doubles donations to party. So if we want to get the whole 20,000 euros from state, we need to collect 20,000 euros of donations in that year. I think that it seems possible. If we would show that kind of results, it would spark interest within longevity community to that topic. If we would jump even higher and more ambitious, we could consider federal elections in Germany. Federal elections in Germany also have 5% threshold, and it is about 2 million votes that we need to get into Berlin Parliament and have there 5% of, about 5% of parliament members. As there are about 700 seats in German parliament, having about 5% of places there equals to about like 35 members of German parliament. So it's a very large fraction of indefinite life extension supporters in that case would be. That's like dream of our movement. A great dream. But it costs very much. It's very expensive. To get 2 million votes for German parliament, we need like about 4 million euros. But reality is it's not that much sum of money. Even if it is $10 million, it's not that much sum of money. Aubrey de Grey has experience of raising $28 million. On that scale, like 4 million, 4 million euros or 10 million euros is not that much. We have a lot of rich people in our community. Like, okay, I would not say names, but there are a lot of multimillionaires in our community. There are a lot of people for whom it's like $1 million is not a much sum to donate or invest into something. Also, if we spend, for example, 4 million euros on a political campaign in Germany and get 2 million votes and 35 members of German federal parliament, then all donations up to about 2 million euros in the next 4 or 5 years would be doubled by government. And I think that under that condition, and the condition that we have 35 members of German parliament, I'm very much sure that we would be able to raise like millions of donations per year, because our longevity community in fact is very large, very passionate, and in certain parts of it very rich. There are actually even a few billionaires who support our ideas. Maybe not as passionately, at least we here don't really see any strong evidence of their strong passion. Like, I mean, Mark Zuckerberg said once on Stanford, probably, or Harvard alumni conference, that it's a very good idea for our generation, ambitious idea, to defeat all diseases. Okay, it is a sign of some passion towards our ideas. He also has a fund devoted to similar purposes, but does he have a large level of ambition and passion? I don't know. Like, we don't see that. Anyway, there are other people like Eric Schmidt and Google founders and Sam Altman and probably Larry Page, or I don't remember who has founded Altos Labs. So anyway, uh, $2 million, and we like for $4 million, and we can probably get a large fraction of it, 35 people in German parliament. That all was an example on Germany. But similar things can be done in many other countries. When we have 5% fraction in the parliament, we can try to to get into coalition, because our requirements for coalition would be, generally speaking, very mild. We are not striving for some influence on economical policy of foreign matters and so on. We are mostly or totally party of just one issue. We would say them that like just give more billions euros per year to fund aging research, which is good for any party, to fund war on cancer, to fund war on Alzheimer. So in this video I have briefly described up to that point how we can effectively spend certain sums of money. For Köln election it was 20,000 euros. For Berlin election it was 200,000 euros. And for federal elections in Germany it was about 4 million euros. Of course, it was quite abstract, because I also need to say how exactly this money should be spent for election campaign. But this question I would describe in later videos.